Alright everyone, after we finish the blueprint lessons for the first session, now we move on to the second session. And in the second sessions, you are going to study the speaking tutor, which is speaking tutor 3A. And in the speaking to the book, you will learn a lot about the speaking tip. Along the way, you will learn some of the interesting topic. And in the unit 4, as you already know, you will learn about my favorite books. And in the lesson, they will teach you on how to summarize the main informations in the book. Now we are on the lesson 3, which is the dialogue and practice. And you can find this lesson on your book, which is on page 78 and 79. So in today's lesson, what we are going to learn is the dialogue tip, which you will look at the way in which you can give the summary. So before we move on to the main language point today, which is the giving summary, you need to understand what summary is. And I hope you remember the meanings and the definitions of the word summary. However, here are two main characteristics of the word summary, which you need to remember. So let's look at the first one. So summary is an overview of the content that provides a reader with the important information. In in the summary, it only talk about the contents, the overall of the content of your book. Let's say your books they are talking about war and crime. They just give you 2 or 3 sentences in order to talk about the whole book. And remember, the summary it does not expand on specific detail. Some information is not important, but it's just an supporting idea, it's just an example. So those information is not important. So in the summary, you no need to include all those information. Okay, so in the case of summarizing the book, what should you do? It is very easy because there are only three main things that you need to do in order to summarize the book. The first one, you need to talk about the characters. Do you remember, everyone? There are many adjectives that you can use to describe the character. Is he a good person? Is he evil character in the story? Okay, is he a gentleman? Is she a beautiful woman? So all those adjectives you can use to describe the character in your summaries. Let's moving on to the setting. So setting, we talk about the place where the story happens. But you can also include the time when the story happens. In what time? In the past, in the present, or in case of the fictions novel or fictions movie, some of them are happenings in the future, which is based on the imagination. So if you watch the sci-fi movie, which is scientific movie, most of the movie are based on the future predictions. So the setting of the sci-fi movie mostly about the future. So it is all about the settings. And remember, in the story, there cannot be one place. There may be some different places that the author want to portray in the movies or in the book. So you need to get the idea of how many places, how many times. Some of the movie they switch back and forth from the past and the future. They travel in time. So you need to understand this concept in order to give an accurate summary of your book. Last but not least, it is the plot. So plot refer to the main event as you remember. Okay, here's the plot, which is the main events, how the story start, what are the main important events in the story, and how the story end. Okay, so in your books, we just give you some idea in order make your summarizations a lot easier, you need to consider these four questions because in the process of summarizing your book, if you can answer these four questions about your book, it means you achieve your goal, which is to summarize your book. So the first question is, what is your favorite book? So in the presentations, you need to present the title of your book first, and then you talk about the character as if we have done in the previous slide, the settings and the plots. So let's moving on to the other point, which is interview about the movie. So in the books, they give you a questions that you need to answer. So imagine a situations that you are the one who is being asked by the reporter. And all of this question, so what should you answer? How should you respond to the question? So the first one, what type of movie do you like to see? Remember everyone, we have learned this vocabulary related to the type of movies from the blueprint book. So we have action movie, we have fantasy movie, we have animated movie, we have cartoon, we have scary horror movies, all those type of movie. So which one do you like? So the type of movie, or in another technical word, we call it genre. So genre has the same meaning as the type of the movie. And the second question is, what is it about? If it is a horror movie, what is it about? Is it a ghost story? Is it a crime scene? Is it a fighting? Is it a war? So what is it about? And are there any bad characters? Actually, in every story, even it's a book, even though it is a movie, there are always a good and a bad characters. They are fighting. And at the end, most of the time, the good characters wins the battle. I hope you remember the movie The Infinity War by the Maxwell Studio. So in that movie, there are a group of hero and all of those are good characters. And there is a bad guy, Thanos, his name, which is a very powerful one. But at the end of the movie, the good always win the bad ones. And the other question, what is the story? What is the best part of the story? Okay, so in the action movie, the best part of the story, actually the fighting scenes, the violent scenes, and how does the story end? So at the end, what happens? What you get from the movies? Okay, how's the good characters going to do with the bad character? So all of those stuff you need to consider when you watch the movie or you read the book. You need to take note of those important points. So again, to recap what we have learned so far, today you learn about the summaries, and the definitions or the general meaning of the summary is an overview of the contents or the overview of the movie. And you also look at some of the questions in order to help you um, giving a good presentation related to your favorite books. And along the way, there are some questions that you should ask yourself when you read a books or you watch the movie in order to get a better views of what the movie is about, of what happens in the movies. Okay, so everyone, in this unit 4, you will learn how to give a presentation related to your favorite books or your favorite movies. It is a lot better for you to summarize the book because in the book it is very long. To give the summary of the book, which means you give your listeners an overview of the story that you like. So everyone, that's it for the video lessons today. And I hope to see all of you again in the next one. And everyone, stay safe and enjoy your day. Goodbye.